Good afternoon, everyone. FLR here. I hope you're having a great day. I've decided to start recording again. I'll get into more of a channel update in a little bit here. But for today's game, we're going to be playing some Total War Warhammer 2, as you can see here. And we're going to be doing a new campaign. We'll be playing on the Mortal Empires map. Now, the Mortal Empires map requires that you have both Warhammer 1 and 2. It combines both the old world and the new world, I guess, maps. So including the elf lands, as well as the original map that had the Empire and the vampire counts, orcs, dwarves, etc. But in any case, I wanted to, showcase some of this game a little bit. I think this is one of the best Total War games that's been made recently. As you can see the map here as it zooms in. And I'm going to be trying the new campaign.
I am Tyrion.
No, not new Tyrion. I'm going to be doing the Tomb Kings expansion. We'll be playing as the sort of default lord Settra the Imperishable. We'll be playing on the hard difficulty here. And I'm going to go ahead and get started here. But at this point, during this loading screen, I'm going to do a bit of a channel update. So once the loading screen starts, feel free to jump ahead if you're not interested in schedule and other content that's going to be on my channel. But I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you either on the next screen or once we get in game. So I'm going to do a bit of a channel update here while we're just sitting in the loading screen. And the loading screen sometimes takes a little while, we'll see. Well, it looks like the loading screen is not going to take a while. But anyway, as far as channel update goes, so I haven't been doing anything on the channel for quite some time. And, I've decided to fix that. I'm going to be doing some more recording again here. Now, it looks like it's going to finish loading in just a second here, which is atypical for Total War Warhammer, but of course it happens when I'm trying to do a channel update here. So I'm going to go ahead and let the sort of intro video play out, and then I'll talk to you some more.
Mighty Settra, greatest of all kings, your civilization lies in mere ruins of its former glory. Much must be done to restore greatness to your kingdom, and for all to fear your wrath once more. To the north, sire, savage greenskins threaten to raid your lands. They defile your mortuary shrines. Vengeance must be taken. More greenskins and Skaven dwell in the mountains to the east, sire. They pose a potential future threat, while regions further south are already occupied by the Necrarch Brotherhood, sucking dry what life there still is in the desert. But these, great king, are but more distractions to a grander plan. The Black Pyramid stands guarded for now by a sentinel army. Control it, and claim its dark secrets, and with it unimaginable power. You are Settra the Imperishable, and all shall obey your rule.
Alright, and we're back. So I've done a little bit of research about how this faction plays, and I have played a few, maybe not a few hours, maybe like an hour or two of this faction before, just to kind of get a feel of it so that I don't go into the campaign totally fumbling around. But anyway, so back to the channel update. Before we get to anything else here, I'm going to go ahead and stop and do the channel update, so feel free to jump ahead a couple of minutes if you're, again, not interested in that. But, so I've decided I want to restart doing some YouTube again, doing some videos. So I'll start with schedule. So scheduling-wise, it's going to be on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Thursdays and Fridays when videos will be uploaded. That's the scheduled video. Those will be roughly middle of the afternoon, depending on when I get them done. And those are going to be, at least for right now, those will be a mixture of this campaign, the Total War Warhammer 2 Tomb Kings, playing as Settra the Imperishable. And then I'm going to be also starting a series on Empire at War, the Star Wars strategy game. And I'm going to be doing some mod kind of showcases and playthroughs of that. So those will be the two sort of primary series on the channel. And I'm also going to do a fifth video periodically. And that'll be what I'm going to call a wildcard video. And so that video will go up at some point during the week outside of the scheduled videos. So it may go up on the weekend, and it may go up on like Wednesday afternoon or something like that. And that's just going to be anything else that I find interesting that I've been playing. So it could be something in Counter-Strike, it could be something in you know, a totally different game, a new game that I think is interesting. I might showcase another mod for a game. It'll be a variety of things. And for right now, schedule-wise, we're going to stick to that. 4 videos a week plus a 5th one periodically. And at this point, I don't have a stream schedule set up. It's possible that I might stream some. I haven't decided whether I will continue to do that on Twitch or whether I'm going to try and set myself up on YouTube here. That'll depend on viewership of the videos. So anyway, that kind of covers the basic schedule and content plans for the channel. I'm hoping to get this going consistently here. I've finished college, and I'm kind of in the process of job hunting, but I'm in a bit of a unique situation where I don't need to find a job immediately to start paying things off. I'm in a bit of a different situation, so I have some time, and I decided I wanted to use that time to restart my YouTube channel. And I saw that I've been playing some Total War Warhammer, and it doesn't seem like there are a lot of videos on YouTube about it, so I thought maybe I'll try and add to that market. And then I'll be doing some Empire War mods as well. I probably won't do any of the base game, any of the sort of vanilla Forces of Corruption. It's not likely unless that's super highly requested. I'm going to be covering several mods. Right now, I'm going to be doing a mod called Awakening of the Rebellion. And it's a fantastic mod from a German modding group, but I'll talk more about that when we get to that video. For today, we're going to be focusing on Total War Warhammer 2. So, to get started into the actual content of the video here, let's go ahead and get going. So, you start with this one, Khemri, and it is a good idea to go ahead and build one of these, because you need the income. And then, in my opinion, the best move is to immediately head towards Gorgazan, which is controlled by a Greenskins tribe, an orc tribe. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the second chariot here, some of those, and then another round of those. Start some research here, the first dynasty. And that's roughly the first turn. There's not a whole lot to do with this faction in the first turn. The Empire and the Dwarves and some of the other factions have quite a bit to do in the first turn sometimes, but for this faction, there's really not a whole lot to do in the first turn other than sort of make a decision about where you're going to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll out here so you can see kind of where on the map we are. So the Dwarves are going to be roughly in this area, and the Greenskins are kind of in this area as well, along with the Dwarves. The High Elves are in this area, and then there are Lizardmen, and there's a Vampire faction, and a High Elf faction here, and the Skaven, the Rats. And then Dark Elves are up in this area here, for those of you who aren't familiar with the map. And then the Norsk tribes, the northern tribes are up here. Empire is here. The Britannic, they're not Britannic, they're, well, I mean, they're basically the Britannic groups. But they're in this area here. And then the Wood Elves are kind of in this little area here. And then there's some dwarves, and then vampires are in this area, and then there's a large group of human territory kind of in this center area here. But for right now, our focus is going to be kind of getting control of as much of this territory as possible. Our primary focus is going to be this group of orcs here, the Top-Knots. The Black Pyramid of Nagash is one of your primary targets, but it's the army that controls it is very powerful. We're going to be a while before we can go after that. So, we're going to go ahead, and that's the first turn here. We're going to go ahead and end the turn. And we'll see what happens. And obviously there's a whole routine of stuff that has to go on here. Actually, one thing you can do here, if you're not familiar with the game, make sure that you go into this stuff. And you can change animation speed, so how quickly stuff on the map moves. I like to set it all pretty much off. I like to be able to see allied faction lords moving, but I don't need to watch them the entire time. Enemy factions, I definitely want to see lords moving, so that I can prepare for that, but I don't need them to be, you know, walking slowly. I don't need to see their heroes. They're gonna get to my forces anyway. And then neutral factions, you don't really need to see anything unless they're gonna attack you. Not really necessary. And I'm gonna go ahead and have this on fast forward here. One of my goals in starting the channel is to try and pick up sort of where I left off, but I want to improve the quality of videos. I want to improve the consistency and scheduling of videos. And I'm hopefully playing games now that I'm enjoying more than I did then. So this Total War Warhammer campaign is going to be a fairly extended Let's Play. I haven't decided whether I'm going for the short campaign or the long campaign victory yet. We'll see. But for the immediate future, we need to get some more troops recruited. There's not really a whole lot more that we can do here. We can't recruit another army yet. That's part of the game, the mechanics of the faction. So there's just really not a whole lot we can do. So you also have, in Warhammer 2, you have these rights, which give you various bonuses or buffs, or the ability to recruit certain heroes. Like you can see here, Lord recruitment rank is increased by 3, plus 2 experience for all units. This one gives you you can recruit Necrotect, which is one of the faction heroes. This one gives you some, the others give you some bonuses. So they're worth considering, but I would caution against trying to go for them too hardcore. And then the other resource mechanic is this canopic jars, which is essentially a crafting item, and you can, shut up, Settra, and you can get, army capacity, legions of legend, just various units and such. You can craft weapons and armor and enchanted items, etc., that will buff your heroes and lords and such like that. And that's through the canopic jars, which you get for a variety of things, including battles, buildings you can build in settlements, sacking settlements, etc., etc., things like that. And then the main mechanic, and this in the Eye of the Vortex campaign, this is their victory mechanic, their sort of special mechanic, is these Books of Nagash. And they give you all sorts of rewards, as you can see here. But the, this one you get for occupying Skaven Blight, which is, I believe, over here somewhere. But anyway, that's one of the other mechanics. In this game, it just gives you some fairly, or in this map, it gives you some fairly significant bonuses. So, anyway, that's basically our second turn done. Now, for anybody who's not interested in the basic mechanics of the faction and wants to skip ahead a little ways, feel free to do so if you know how to play the game and you're just interested in watching the faction. But I'm gonna be trying to do a bit of introductory stuff. Feel free to post with advice. Make sure it's feedback and not just nastiness. If it is nastiness, I'm going to have to regulate comment section more, and I don't want to do that. I haven't had that happen before, but I know it's been happening more recently on various people's channels, so we're not going to have that here. This is going to be a a place where people can come to chillax and have a nice time. So keep that in mind when you're posting feedback, but feel free to post feedback if you think there's something I could have done differently or better that would have worked out. So we're going to go ahead and recruit some more troops for Settra. Oh, and one of the mechanics, I'll talk about this more when we get into a battle next turn, but one of the big mechanics of this faction, and there are other factions as well that are similar to this, but your heroes are powerful. You need to use them. And your special units are also extremely powerful. You've got to use them in battle. In previous Total War titles, specifically Medieval 2, I'm thinking of, you needed to protect your generals more so than you needed to use them. In this game, generals are pretty darn hard to kill. They're pretty powerful, so you're safe using them in battle, at least to an extent. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're, considering playing this game. Now, Do I suggest buying this game? Total War Warhammer 2, absolutely. Now, if you want to be able to play on this Mortal Empires map, the map that I'm playing on right now, that's a bit more of an expense, because both games, I believe, are $60. Apologies for the sound in the background. But both games are $60. So that's $120 just to play on this map and get some of the expansions and stuff like that. So that's a fairly significant expense. I'm not sure that I can suggest that. However, this game absolutely is worth it. Now, if you can get both games on sale, absolutely I would suggest it. I would say this is one of, if not my favorite Total War title that's out. Period. It's fantastic. I really, really enjoy it. And I've played multiple factions in this game, and they all have mechanics that make them incredibly unique and really fun to play. Oh, and it looks like they're going to come out to meet me, so we'll have a battle already here. I'm going to go ahead and save real quick, and then we'll get right into it. So, as far as recommending the game goes, absolutely I would recommend the game if you want to spend $60 on this second title. Absolutely. Now, if you want to play the Mortal Empires map, that's where I'm not sure I can recommend buying both of them, because that's a fairly hefty expense. I mean, it's $120 unless you get it on sale. So I'm not sure that I can recommend that, but, you know, that's up to you. If you have money to burn and you really want to play this map, then, you know, go for it. The first game is good, but it's better. The second game is definitely better. I would say the first game was an excellent game, and they learned a lot from making that game. This second game is very, very good. I've been very pleased. I have not regretted purchasing it at all. There are games that you play some and you kind of regret purchasing and wish you could return. I have not once have I wished I could return this game. It is fantastic. I just want to note, I'm not sponsored by Sega or anybody. That's my own opinion. I'd love to be sponsored. Hell, that'd be nice. Some money. But I'm not sponsored. I just really enjoy this game quite a bit. It is a fantastic game. Now, I don't have much in the way of ranged units in this army, which is a bit of a problem for this battle. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of be a little bit of a jerk here and just kind of sit in the corner. I really don't want to... I'm going to wait until they get closer to me, because I really don't want to run into archers. Whoops. I don't want to run into archers here and just lose half my army trying to get into position. But I'm going to go ahead... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and move forward a little bit here, because it will give me a bit of a terrain advantage here. Now, it looks like they're coming after me here, so I'm going to go ahead and actually stop here and set things up. Now, this is a bit of, because of my army composition here, this is a bit of an inconvenient position to be in. It's not fantastic. There's a bit of, it could be better. Could be better. We'll say that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and advance here. Now, I'm going to do one thing that I would suggest actually not doing normally, and that's mosh pitting, basically. I'm just going to send all my troops straight at them and hope that I win. Now, I don't normally suggest doing that. It's a good way to lose a whole ton of troops, but in this situation, I don't really have a choice. I mean, positionally, I basically just have to run at them and hope that I win. Now, what I am going to do here... Well, first of all, we're going to see how close they're going to get to me. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to do what I wanted to. So, what I'm going to do is send my spearmen forward a little bit here. Now, fortunately, they don't have very much in the way of archers. They don't have any in this army in particular, which is good. Now, this War Sphinx is your friend. It's very good. Very, very strong. I need you to attack them again. Come on, focus. So, what we're doing here is basically just mosh pitting their troops. That's essentially what it amounts to. Because I couldn't get far enough forward to really position my troops effectively, I basically just have to do it this way.
Settra the Imperishable.
Normally I like to set up flanks and all sorts of stuff like that, but in this instance, that's not really going to work. Let's see if I can get that out there. A little bit of voice crack there, sorry. Now, as you can see, Settra is very strong here. I mean, he's doing work. So is the Sphinx. The Sphinx is very strong. And as you can see, we've already routed a bunch of their troops. So we're going to go ahead and send... Chariots need to back up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and get our troops en route. So their general should be dead here. Their general's dead for sure. Alright. And it looks like I'm going to lose a unit of chariots because I wasn't paying attention and micromanaging them properly. So that's on me. Now I need you to focus, War Sphinx. Now I don't know where their general for this... oh, this is the city garrison, so there is no general for this army here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and send the chariots after their ranged troops here. And I'm hoping the War Sphinx will catch their general and go ahead and kill their general off. That would be really excellent if that were to happen. Well, and there goes my unit of chariots, which is unfortunate, but not really unexpected.
Settra the Imperishable.
Alright, we got their general, which is good. So now I'm going to send a couple of units after that. A couple of units after this. And Settra's going to do that. Now I have a little bit more room to maneuver. And these chariots are dead too. Okay. So I just am not good at using chariots. I'm not really very good at microing cavalry in this game. That's one of the things I'll need to improve on in this campaign, I think. However, it looks like this battle's pretty much in control here. I'm gonna go ahead and reinforce that. We'll send Settra over there. Go ahead and run these units over there to help. Now the War Sphinx is just going to wreck these guys. And I'm actually going to go ahead and send the Sphinx after their archers, because the Sphinx is quick enough, as you can see. Now, one thing to note is I do have a couple of mods for this game, but I don't have any of them installed for this campaign. This campaign is going to be completely vanilla. No mods whatsoever. So, in a later campaign I may do some mods, that's a possibility. But for this campaign, no mods at all. And it looks like we're done here. We killed their general, and that's the important thing, so that's about the end of the battle. So, unfortunately relatively even losses. I could have handled that better. I got my chariots killed, which is not particularly convenient. But again, positioning is a bit inconvenient in that location. That spot is one that I like when I have archers, because I can just set my troops up there in a defensive position and really just let them kind of camp out there and wait for their archers to get in range and then just destroy them with my archers. But we make do with what we have. We won the battle, and that's what's important here. Now what I need to do is advance straight towards their city and take the city, while there are no other troops in the area. That's the important thing. In another campaign, it took me a while to take the city, because there ended up being like 2 armies here, almost the size of my army, plus the city garrison, and that caused some pretty significant delays in taking the city, just because I had to go back and replenish troops several times. But because I've been so aggressive this early on, I should be able to get the city. Now, something to note, I can't remember if I said this in the opening or not, but I am playing on the hard difficulty. I don't recommend that for somebody new to the Total War series for sure. I would recommend the normal difficulty. That's going to be challenging, but not super difficult. This one's going to be pretty challenging, especially because I don't know the faction. I've played like the High Elves and the Empire and the Dwarves and the Wood Elves on hard, and those are all factions that are fairly, I guess, regular with their mechanics. You know, there's nothing super weird with any of them, except for maybe the Wood Elves, who can only build like cities in the main 5 or 4, I guess, Wood Elf territories. So it's a bit inconvenient, but not unreasonable. You just have to position yourself in such a way that you can take the other capital cities. Now, I'm going to go ahead. Normally I would do canopic jars, but I really need to replenish my troops, more so than I need the canopic jars. Now, their army is just going to raid here. The garrison for Khemri is strong enough. There should be no issue. Now, this is a Vampire Counts faction here, and they want a non-aggression pact. Now, this is one of the territories that I need to take, so I'm going to go ahead and ignore them for right now. I don't want to antagonize them, but I don't want them to be unattackable. I need to have the diplomatic options open for a number of factions. Now, we're going to go ahead and get some skill points here on Settra. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to go with the first spell that's available to him. And then we're going to go ahead and push forward here. Now, I think this should be doable here. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight into the battle. And this will be about the end of the episode here. So we're going to go ahead, get straight into this battle here. Our hero and our War Sphinx should really be able to carry us in this battle. Our infantry is mostly just going to be to kind of try and hold their infantry in place, while my hero units destroy them. That's especially early on with this faction. You really need to keep your Sphinx. I'm pointing at it on the screen, and I don't know why you can't see that. But you really need to keep your Sphinx and Settra alive. Like, those are your 2 most important units. Now, I'm going to go ahead and gamble. See if I can get more favorable winds of magic, and it worked. So we're good. Go ahead and start deployment here, and there's not really a whole lot to this here. I guess I'm going to put my swordsman in front and my spearman in back, and Settra to the side, and Sphinx to the side, but not a whole lot to do here. So, their army is pretty much grouped up here. So I'm going to just go straight in here with my infantry. I mean, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of strategy to it. We'll just kind of go straight in here with the infantry. I'm going to send my spearmen after them. I'm going to hit their general with my special units, and that's about all the strategy there is to it here. The War Sphinx is going to get in there before everything else, which is fine. That's not a big deal. I'm hoping that it will tank some of the damage from the archers. That's another thing. So I think it can handle that damage more than any of my other units. Their archers are a bit of a concern here. It shouldn't be too bad. Now I'm going to see how much damage it takes from that first volley and then pull it back when I need to. Oh, I'm not even going to shoot. One shot. Okay, and he missed. So that's pretty good, actually. Now the Sphinx is going to be in there for a little while without any help. But it's pretty powerful. I think it's going to be okay. Probably. Yeah, it's winning pretty heavily right now. So we should be okay. I don't know exactly what their cavalry is going to do here. I'm not too concerned. It's starting to take a little bit of damage, but it should be okay. Now it's just doing a lot of damage to these guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and send Settra to help those units over there, because they're the ones struggling the most. Now their cavalry is kind of screwed. Actually, they're running, so...
Settra destroys.
Sphinx is not really in good shape. We're gonna back the Sphinx off a little bit here. This is one of the problems. This is maybe my biggest complaint with Total War mechanics, is how the units are just kind of not responsive sometimes.
Mightiest of kings.
But we should be okay here.
Break them.
I'm gonna have the Sphinx help out here a little bit. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. So this is the tactical map, which I don't use very much because the battles at this point aren't large enough to... So the War Sphinx just did work. We're gonna go ahead and send the War Sphinx
Fight.
in.
Settra the Imperishable.
Now we're pretty far ahead here. Contrary to what this says, we're in pretty good shape. The War Sphinx is really doing work here.
My orders. Get out, boy.
Okay. And now Settra is fighting their lord. He's just gonna destroy him. Their lord's just dead. Settra is really strong. I'm gonna leave him a couple of reinforcements, mostly just to keep their lord from running away. That's the big thing here. So if their lord runs away, we have a bit of a problem, because it's a pain to catch. Go ahead. Now their lord is not routing, which means he's just gonna get wrecked by Settra, because Settra is OP. It's not actually OP, it's pretty well balanced for the... You just see how much damage he did there. That was ridiculous. It just instant routed. Now, the fact that their units are unrouting is a bit concerning here. But the Sphinx is just playing with its food. Alright, you can... Okay, their lord is dead, which is excellent. So I'm gonna send my troops in here. Okay. Now, the special ability of the Tomb Kings, which I can't... I'm clicking the wrong thing, is a unique unit. Now, they're, I don't know what you call these things. But they're like the you know, the Anubis kinds of things. They're creepy bastards. And they do damage. They do work. Now, I've no real point to summoning them here. I just kind of wanted to demonstrate them. They're cool. So there are a lot of interesting mechanics about this faction. Not really a close victory. It was never in doubt. But anyway, so that's the end of this battle. We should have the city under lockdown now. I want to note that I'm playing with slightly smaller unit sizes than I might normally. Mostly for performance. The game tends to not run quite as well with huge units, so I'm running them a little bit smaller just to make it a little easier. But this episode has been fairly lengthy, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, any feedback you'd like to give me, any suggestions for how I play this out, I'm certainly open to those. I'm not an inexperienced Total War player, but that doesn't mean I'm, you know, the best by any means. Certainly I know people personally that are better than I am at the game. That's not what I meant to do. But we'll go ahead and leave it off here for now. We've captured Gorgazan. And we've got this raiding army that's not really going to be able to do anything. It doesn't have enough troops to take Khemri. Not with walls, especially. But I hope you've enjoyed. Please do leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more of this content. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day.